Hello for everybody first, and I'd like to introduce myself. I am a Moroccan painter. My name is Mehdi Sabil. I work as a fine art teacher in Morocco, in a secondary school or a middle high school.
How have you started painting? How have you chosen this occupation in your life?
Well, to be honest, this occupation, I think it was, if I may say, it was choosing me because I cannot even remember the time I started drawing because since I can remember, I had this gift and or this talent, if I may say. And when I was studying at school, I always remember these classmates of mine and friends of mine asking me to draw for them something, like animes and cartoons and stuff. So I cannot really remember when it started. I guess it was running in my veins, I suppose. But with time, I realized that this is something I would like to do in the future. And after the middle high school, I had to choose between studying economy or studying art. And it was very clear for me because in my guts, I always felt like I need to study something which is connected with art. And I always had this dream that I would like to work with Disney or something like this. So since I can remember, it was always there.
We can see very, just for me, painful pictures, honestly saying. What is the main goal? Why are you doing pictures like that?
Well, as you said, for you it's painful, and this was the goal. And most of the people actually was seeing the pictures, they're always thinking like, oh my God, I cannot see that, it's too painful. And this is one of actually the reasons I was doing that. Because nowadays we're living in a world where this human principles and values, they are not existing anymore. Nobody really cares about it, So I thought that through this exhibition, maybe I could transfer the message to people, especially in Germany, because they were hosting a lot of refugees over here. So I wanted to show to the local people first, and also to the world, that these people, they are humans. They are like them, They are made out of flesh and bones, and they have blood running inside of their veins. They have emotions, They can feel just like them. So the main reason from the exhibition is not to make people feel sad, but it is more an exhibition to make them feel like, to make them have this sympathy, towards these people, to make them feel their pain, to make them feel that it could be their brother, it could be their sister, if they were born in Syria or in Iraq or something like that. So I think, and I hope, through this exhibition, I will transfer this message to everybody, not only in Magdeburg, but I hope that it's gonna spread around, like in the whole of Germany and maybe some other countries, hopefully, because I'm still planning to exhibit somewhere else. So this is the main reason, to make people connect and see the misery that these little kids are going through.
So, and now a bit about the pictures. We can see that those are not the typical portraits where you can see only the face of the person and maybe some wall behind, but on the background we can see a lot of different words. My question is, what are these words? What are the messages behind these words? And what languages were you using? And why were you doing all that?
Well, concerning your question and the words I'm using, or the languages I'm using 3 languages. I'm using Arabic, which is my native language. I'm using German, because I am exhibiting in Germany. And I'm using also English, which is close almost to everybody, because everybody understands English. And the words I was writing there, I was choosing some words like war, childs of war, tolerance, love, respect, words which are really powerful, to hear, and I use them as a witness for this misery the kids are going through. So instead of, because I wanted to come up with something a little bit new, instead of having just the background like this, like to see the ruins or the broken buildings and stuff like that, I was thinking, why not use these big and powerful words as a background, you know, that can exhibit or show more the characters and the how to say it, the subject, which is the portrait itself. So this was the main reason I chose to have words in the background.
And tell us a bit about the technical process. How are you making your paintings?
Well, I'm working with pastel. If you are familiar with this material or this medium, it's like chalk for people who are not familiar with that. Yeah, and I use paper like conson paper, like a thick kind of paper, and I trace my portraits with using some coal, and I was choosing like 4 colors, like the same tone, which is grayish, greenish, more like a war tone, you know, because for this topic I thought that it's using the colors, it's not going to be really expressive and not really good, you know, in this specific topic. So the choice of colors, it was meant to be like that for a reason, because I needed to transfer this darkness and this solitude and this sadness these kids are living in, you know.
The question about the nationalities, like countries, do you know where these kids are from? Do you know what countries were you representing when you were painting, or just, it doesn't matter, just a child of war, you take it and you paint?
Well, the topic is childs of war, but it was mainly supposed to be about any child who's living through this very bad circumstances and stuff like that. So, but the main pictures I was picking, they were, most of them are Syrian boys. Yeah, Syrian boys and Syrian girls.
And so, boys, girls, kids, why are you working with kids? Why is it so much important for you to represent the kids here on these pictures?
Well, as a teacher, as I said in the beginning, I have a close relation to kids, you know, and the fact that I come from an Arabic country and I see what's happening to these people all over the Arabic countries and in the Middle East, it touched me a lot. It's touching me too much that sometimes I can tell you that I'm having some sleepless nights, especially when I am painting some paintings, and then it's stuck in my mind. I cannot forget about it. So the fact that I am working with kids and I see that those kids, they cannot have the same advantages that kids are having in Europe or let's say in Morocco, because it's not that bad in Morocco. I mean, it's a third world country, but still we are not living in war. So when I see these kids, like for example on TV and on newspaper, it just makes me feel so bad, and it feels like it's burning inside. So I figured that maybe I should use this, or not use, maybe I should use the pictures of these kids or these fragile creatures as a way to express what I'm thinking about, you know, and transfer this message to everybody, that these kids, they are going through a lot, that these kids, they don't deserve what they are going through, you know. So I hope that people will be able actually to understand what they have been through, you know, because what they are going through, actually, it's not gonna affect them only for 1 year, you know. It's a scar that they are gonna carry with them for the rest of their lives. So we should stop that somehow. We should open our eyes and stop this naivety and start acting, you know, and start being brave, you know, to help these people.
And have you been searching for the personalities? I mean, so you take the picture from the internet, maybe some kind of photo. Have you tried to search for the personality, who this child is? Maybe later to show that, take a look, you were in the exhibition. Your pain maybe have helped to stop the war, to prevent some new conflict and so on.
Well, most of the paintings, I was painting them just from some pictures I found either on the internet or newspaper, but I don't really know them, like personally. But I have another project which I would love to talk about maybe later when it's coming the time to talk about the new projects and the stuff in the future. So I would like to know the kids and take pictures for these kids on my own and learn about their story, and maybe I will write something about these stories in the background or something like that. But to answer your question, I don't know the kids like personally.
I see. And tell us, please, now a bit about the exhibition itself. So you have definitely shown these pictures to somebody, maybe some professional experts, maybe some close friends and relatives. What reactions have you already noticed? How do people react when they see this not so easy work of art?
Well, mostly it's the same reaction you're having. Most of the people, I showed them the pictures, they were under shock. They were feeling sad, they were feeling, they didn't even, some of them actually, they couldn't even look at the pictures. They are like, they see it for a few seconds and then they are like, oh no, God, I cannot see that anymore. But this is actually one of the reasons I did that, you know. I was doing it on purpose, like to make it look really sad and really tragic, to touch the deepest soul of everybody who's seeing these pictures. So I think it was not a coincidence. It was made on purpose to make people actually feel the pain that they are going through. I mean, I'm talking about the kids.
So now you really feel that you have reached your goal, the goal that you set before yourself when you started painting all that, to make the people feel like maybe a bit guilty that we have that in our world and so on. Yeah. So was the goal like that, and is it reached? How can you say that now?
Yeah, the goal was always like that, like to make people feel that these kids, they are going through a lot. These kids, they are living in hell. These kids, they are in pain, you know. So sure, when people, they connect with it and they feel the same what I was talking about now, I think, yes, I was reaching my goal, but I cannot answer this question. This is something actually you should ask the audience if they felt it or not.
And tell us, please, so we have already understood that you are working with kids very intensively. So do you feel this influence of the kids on, so kind of you are teaching them, but are you taught by them as well? Do you learn something from the kids? And how do they influence you? How does the work with kids influence you and your personal growth and then your professional growth?
Definitely, definitely. I do love, I am a person who loves kids a lot, yeah. And either I am conscious about it or not. I think I've been influenced by kids a lot. Otherwise, I would not work on this topic. The choice, it was not a coincidence, you know. It was meant to happen for a reason. And I think one of the reasons that I was choosing this topic, it was my work, actually, what I am doing for a living. And as a teacher, as I said before, I feel that I have a really special connection with kids. So that's one of the reasons I was really focusing on kids in my work. The next exhibition is going to be about the Mother Earth or the forest, you know. So I would like to work on something that shows the people the way we are treating our Earth, you know, our Mother Earth, because I think it's cruel the way the humans, they are treating everything. I mean, even the way humans are treating humans. It's not human, you know, because the word itself, it's really philosophical, you know. When you're talking about these things, you cannot really understand it. So I would like to work on something that shows us how cruel we have become with time and technology, and how these things were affecting us and were changing our personalities a lot. So hopefully through this next project, I'll be able also to transfer this message that we need to be aware of our actions. We need to be aware of what we're doing. We need to be aware of where are we going, actually. Because if we're not aware of it, I think we are doomed. I think this earth cannot last for a long time.
What about your personal development? So where do you see yourself in the future?
To be honest, with no offense, I am so not German. I am so not planning for the future, you know, the way people are doing it in here. I just leave it in God's hands, as we say in Arabic, خليها في الله. Yeah, like, because we call God Allah in Arabic anyway. So for me, I just take it step by step and day by day, you know. So the sure thing that I can tell you, or that I can assure you, is that I'm gonna keep going on the same track, you know, always the same topics, like, that can keep people aware of what we are doing, you know, and this is all of it, I guess.
There are a lot of totally different faces here around us. You surely should have maybe not one, but a couple of favorite pictures for you. Why are they favorite? So, first of all, do you have them? And if yes, why?
Yes, I do have a bunch of favorite pictures. And to answer the question why, I cannot really tell why I love this picture more than the others. It's just happening, you know, the connection between you and between the painting. Yeah, so if I might show you, this is one of my favorite pictures here. And I do like it because it shows this scream of this little boy who's really in so much pain. And I was using some German words like Spiel, which is playing, you know, to show this contradiction between what he's feeling and what he's supposed to be doing normally, you know. Because kids, they are supposed to be playing, they are supposed to be learning, studying. But these kids, for example, in Syria or Iraq or any refugee kid, they are not doing anything like this, you know. They are not having anything like this. They were even bombing like schools in Syria and hospitals, which is really cruel. So how are we supposed actually to call us humans and to say that we've been so civilized and so developed that we don't care about kids like that? So yeah, this is one of my favorite ones because of the contradiction between the words actually and the state of mind of the kid in the picture. I'm speaking with you now from my heart because I believe through the heart, I think it's like the easiest way to reach people and to connect with people.
Mir gefallen die Bilder alle sehr gut, ja, weil die zeigen wirklich, wie die Kinder, sage ich mal, im Krieg wirklich leiden. Ja. Das in Europa, da sieht man das nicht so, aber jetzt sehe ich das alles mit anderen Augen. Schöner ist es, wenn die Kinder lachen, spielen und sich keine Sorgen machen.
Die Bilder, die Sie hier zu sehen sind, die gehen wirklich unter die Haut. Muss ich ehrlich sagen, es ist schlimm, dass es immer noch Krieg auf der Welt gibt. Ich meine, Kriege gab es schon immer, aber ich finde es so furchtbar. Und die scheiß Waffenlobby, die immer noch unterstützt wird, auch von unseren Politikern, muss ich ehrlich sagen, sowas muss alles nicht mehr sein. Wir könnten alle in Ruhe und Frieden zusammenleben, Handel und Wandel betreiben. Aber was momentan immer noch und immer wieder passiert, ich finde das ganz, ganz schlimm. Und das beeindruckendste Bild, das finde ich dort, also das ist so ein richtiger Aufschrei, eigentlich auch, ja, das Kind möchte Frieden. Das möchte in Frieden aufwachsen, wie wir. Meine Eltern, die sind auch im Krieg aufgewachsen, wir Gott sei Dank im Frieden. Und ich wünsche mir nur für die Zukunft, dass auch ihr als junge Leute, unsere Kinder, Enkelkinder auch in Frieden aufwachsen werden.
It's definitely very touching and also, I don't know, I'm speaking for myself here, but also raised a little bit of the feeling of guilt. Probably, who am I being like born and raised in such luxury while others have to go through these situations? And I think it's good that we realize that our life is really not that bad, and there are other people who have it much harder, and we don't forget to take care of each other, I think.
Ich finde diese Bilder persönlich sehr beeindruckend. Also es ist etwas anderes, ob man im Fernsehen schnell ein Bild sieht oder ob man sich hier in ein Porträt vertiefen kann, was wirklich sehr ausdrucksstark ist. Also was mich persönlich sehr beeindruckt. das Schlechte eines Krieges zum Ausdruck kommt, was es für einen Menschen bedeutet, in einem Krieg leben zu müssen, damit leben zu müssen und auch danach leben zu müssen, was wir uns ja hier kaum vorstellen können.